Tuesday, people talking sports. This is all the makings of a classic.
Oh, this is a hit show.
If we say it enough, it'll come true. Kevin Durant, I don't like what he did.
Yeah, I heard about this.
He said, I will never, ever play in New York.
Yeah, right. What are you doing?
What are you play for the Warriors. Why are you double negging us?
Right.
One time I was at a party and I was talking to, like, a few years ago, I was talking to this girl and we were talking for like 2 hours and I tried to kiss her and she pulled away and she was like, I have a boyfriend. And I said, oh, okay. And then she was like, and even if I didn't have a boyfriend, I wouldn't really be interested in you. I was like, yeah, lady, I got it.
Right.
You don't have to reject me and then reject me again. I'm pretty sure that's not how they do it in auditions. They're like, yeah, you weren't right for the part. And even if you were, you're freaking disgusting. So you should kill yourself. I don't care for it.
Also, too, he said another thing that he said, D.C. is a better hoops town than New York.
Come on.
I know.
If D.C. is a better hoops town, why did Black Jesus, Earl of Pearl Monroe, come from D.C. to New York?
That's what I'm talking about.
Checkmate. Take that, KD. Look, speaking of hoops, we got a big day today. I mean, Larry Johnson.
It's huge.
LJ, man, 4-point play.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Johnson.
Yeah.
This is a big guest.
4-point play.
LJ's cool because he reinvented his game. Because after the back surgery, he had to reinvent his game. Kind of like me on the MSG network. Dirty club comic comes to a family network.
Squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean. Beloved by all. We're joined by Larry Johnson. Thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, we're talking about that 98, 99 team, that Knicks team, that 8 seed that goes to the finals. That was a crazy year.
It was one of those short, 50-game season. We started off not too good. Spree first year there. I mean, it took half of that season to gel. But once we did, we had so much talent. We was the 8 seed. I think Miami was first one.
Yeah.
And Miami definitely didn't want to see us. Indiana didn't want to see us, as well as we was playing at that time. So it was one of my only time I've been to the finals. So it was one of my best experiences in the NBA.
And your shot is the greatest. That's the greatest shot in the history of my life as a Knicks fan.
Stop.
It is. It is.
Stop. Look.
No, tell me what shot's better. I'm born in '86. Which is the better shot?
Me and your man John Starks, we have fun all the time. Now I was known for dunking and he was known for shooting. But here in New York, he's known for one dunk and I'm known for one shot.
That's not. We're not saying the thing I remember. I know you're sick of hearing this, but I got to do one quick. You hit the shot. You're running, you're so excited. I remember, was it Chris Childs who grabbed you and was like, you got to hit the free throw
Absolutely. Now, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Were you at the game?
I wasn't at the game. I was watching
you're the only person I've ever met in New York that was not at that game. How many? I don't know the population of New York, but all was at that game. I'm telling you, I get it every day. I was at your 4-point. Come on, you weren't at that game. Yeah, I was there. Okay.
But that was, I mean, you went through the 2 most hated teams in Miami and Indiana. I mean, we hated those teams. You guys must have hated those teams.
You know what? We did. We enjoyed the rivalry though, because right now, Reggie Miller is a great guy. I hope New Yorkers don't hate me for that, but man, I love Reg.
Hate, respect him.
Hate, respect him. Off the court, man, I played on Dream Team 2 with Reggie.
Yeah.
And when you playing with another professional and you see how hard he works, you have definitely respect for that. Reggie was a worker. He was a gym rat. So, you got a guy making jump shots. Well, he's showing you why, because he was a gym rat. So I'm definitely a Reggie Miller fan, unless they playing against the Knicks.
Can you talk about beating that Miami team? Because it was that was an insane series.
One thing about Riley, you had Riley on Miami side, and then we had Jeff on our side. Man, both teams, we had the same plays. Our 4 up was their 4 down. 5 turns was their 4. The same, I mean, when they would call out a play, I remember guarding Jamal Mashburn.
Yeah.
And they would call out a play, and I would run the spot before he got there. Like, man, I know where you're going. That's 4 up. Come on, man. Come on over here. He going over there. He's like, wow. So it was just really man-to-man. It's like, it wasn't really, there was no trick plays, none of that. It was, I got the ball, you stop me, I stop you.
A basket meant more.
Exactly.
I remember seeing, I rewatched some of those games because they're on YouTube now, so sometimes I'll just like be on the road and be like, let me watch some like old Knicks. And just the way there'd be like an elbow and then a shot up. I'd be like, how did they play that? Your body must have been hurting.
Absolutely, but we loved playing like that. It was New York.
Yeah.
And when I was at Charlotte, before I came to New York, I didn't play like that. It's just the atmosphere here, man.
Yeah.
And I like to say it all the time. Everybody can't play in New York. Whether it's football, basketball, everybody can't play here.
Right.
Yeah.
that was a different time. I mean, you were teammates with Morey, and then years later you have this feud with him.
Yeah.
Were you guys? What was it like? What was that change like?
I think because people, you know, of course I get that question a lot. And they think we had beef off the floor and it was something other. It was just basketball.
Sure.
It was the heat of the moment right then. I mean, I think the 2 games before we was barking at each other. You know, those. I mean, you talk about those games, man, those series, and it was just bang, bang, bang. So about 2 games before he and I was barking at each other. So it was just boiling. It was going to happen. And the play happened, and a couple of punches was thrown, and we got at it. My man Jeff Van Gundy came to my rescue.
Van Gundy was the enforcer,
Came to my rescue.
That locker room felt to me like there was a togetherness, like the way you guys would get in a huddle after the game. Spreewell, Houston, you, Camby. I mean, was that a tight group?
Yes. I was a captain of that team, myself and Allen Houston. We was like the older guys on that team and Patrick. So it was like me and Allen trying to rein in Spree and Marcus, because those were some wild youngsters, man. Could play, they was runners. So they would love to play, but you had to rein them in as far as practice. You know, yo, let's get serious with practice. You know, Jeff really leaned on myself, leaned on Patrick for that. But once you got those guys focused, boy, they was hard to stop. They was hard to stop. And I thought we had a chance against San Antonio. We was just beat up.
Do you see anyone in the game right now reminds you of you at all?
I know, that's a good question, man. No.
No?
That's a good question, man. No.
Why is it? Is there a lack of D? Is that why?
It's a lack of toughness, a lack of, wearing it on your sleeve, I just think we was definitely, we kept it personal. You know, when I went out and I played against Miami, it was personal when I went up against Alonzo. It was personal when Reggie and Spree went up against each other.
Are there any guys, I know you're going to say the Knicks, but are there any other guys you like to watch right now in the NBA?
Absolutely. Kawhi Leonard fan. I know basically everybody, I thought they were, but I love Kawhi.
He's
That's
great.
one of the throwbacks from, playing on both ends, defense, offense, guarding your guy. But my nephew, Steph was running around. I played with Dell in Charlotte, and Steph was maybe 3-4 at the time, want to shoot everybody, come in the gym. Let's shoot. Man, sit down. We got practice. Let's shoot. Man, go. Dell, come get him.
Wow.
Yeah. Steph running around, ball bigger than he was back then. Let's shoot. Dell, come get this dude. Yeah, man. So, yeah, I love watching them guys.
I heard a story that Muggsy Bogues on the set of Space Jam said that you got a bowl cut haircut before.
Where you heard that from, man? That was pretty good, man.
What happened?
We was there a month, so we did it a month, and they want you to look the same the whole time you're there. I'm like, no, man, my hair growing all that. So they had a guy cutting hair, Italian guy cutting hair, right? I said, man, can you do this? So, yeah, I can do that. I said, all right, I'll come to you a week later. Like, you said you could do this. Man, he cut a bowl around my head, man. He had hair here, nothing here. So I'm in my trailer, and the director comes in and tells me, Larry, 10 minutes. No, not no 10 minutes. I'm not moving. I'm like, you better go get a barber to come cut my hair, man. So I held up production for about 4 hours.
Oh, my God.
And they had one of the guys, one of the grip guys, is it a grip guy, black guy, grip guy said, come on, LJ, come with me. And he took me to the barbershop and cut my hair, man. But I wasn't coming out that trailer. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Muggsy, the only one, saw me and went back and told everybody. Now, we on the team together. We in Charlotte together. Nobody saw this until Muggs went and told everybody.
You're like,
LJ, go look at LJ, my point guard.
You're supposed to make me look
Go
good.
look at LJ hair. Go look at LJ hair. 10 minutes later, Michael Jordan, everybody bust through my trailer. Killing me. Oh! I say, Muggs, you're a bum for that. You're a bum for that. But it was one of the grip guys. Look, LJ, come on, man. Took me about 10 minutes down the street. Dude hooked me up. I came back.
And we're back on People Talking Sports. He wore number 2, but he was number 1 in our hearts. Much better. Larry Johnson. He's got the shirt of a Little League player and the face of a Little League coach, Anthony DeVito. And he's got a podcast, Part of the Problem. For me, it's Afternoon Martinis. We're back. Daryl Morey. The intro's really bombed today. All right. Well,
energy in the room. Just a little bit.
maybe meet us halfway in a few of these guys. We're trying.
Come on, man. We're not asking all.
Hey,
There we go. Schoenberg again.
Schoenberg.
That's what we're talking about, man.
It's worse than no energy? Forced energy.
Daryl Morey, the GM of the Rockets, great GM, says that James Harden is an unbelievable recruiter. Why? Because he got Chris Paul? Because you got Chris Paul. It's like you want $200 million and to no longer play with Austin Rivers. That's not a hard sales pitch, is it? That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Do you think he's a great recruiter?
I do not.
No.
Just, again, is it just Chris Paul he went out and got? I do not.
I guess they got PJ Tucker.
He's not a great recruiter. He's not a great recruiter.
You don't like PJ?
No.
I like him because he plays D. I like guys that play defense. You know? But you're right. I mean, it's not an unbelievable job. You're right. Is he a good recruiter, or is it's a desirable location?
Well, he did.
Sure.
He, from what everyone says, was very a big part of bringing Chris Paul in. And I do like in the NBA today, it's about stars playing together and wanting to play together. So like that means more than ever. I think
Right.
if it's like, oh, do you want to go? And you look at LeBron and Kyrie, it's like you better pick a star who you actually want to play with for a while.
Right.
Right.
And well, you're the guy.
Yeah, and I mean, and also PJ Tucker, you know? You're good for that great deal.
The 98-99 Knicks is going to be featured in the NBA 2K18 game, which is pretty exciting. You can play with the old teams. I love playing with the 93-94 Knicks, but it's like defense doesn't translate in video games, and that was such a good defensive team. You guys had defense. You had a little offense, too. You, Sprewell,
Definitely
Houston.
have defense. If the defense don't translate, it's not going to be a good. You got to play the D.
Yeah.
Beat some guys up. Want to see some blood, some fights. Come on, man.
Now you're talking about
Make it
Mortal
real.
Kombat.
Make it real. Make it real. That team.
That was the Sprewell team now.
Yes.
Because they always have the teams with like the Oakley Starks teams, but now it's like the next version, which was
Right.
that was an incredible year. It was the shortened season.
Yeah.
It was a very talented team that got off to a struggling start and then came on right when you needed to come on. It was magical. Man, I missed that.
You know what's cool is the game also features the Indiana Pacers sitting home watching.
Yes.
All right, you come around.
You know what? Give us one.
I'm a fan.
If you hit the right code, if in the fourth quarter, Jeff Van Gundy will run on and grab another team's leg.
I do it. No,
We love Van Gundy, and my favorite
Best coach in the league.
Best coach, man. And I love that was still the best moment in the finals when he was going crazy about Rihanna.
Oh yeah.
It was just
Oh,
such a
yeah, yeah.
random moment. Did you miss that?
I did miss that.
Rihanna's comes in. He goes, "Oh my God, it's Rihanna!"
My coach didn't do that. No, he didn't. Don't make it up.
Aaron Judge is in a big slump right now. What's the longest slump you've ever been in your life?
Couple days.
I feel like we look similar.
You're a good-looking guy.
Thank you, you too.
22 years.
How old are you?
22 years old.
Oh, wow. My God, hope you snap out of it soon.
Never had any.
Never had a slump? Wow, this guy's knocking it out of the park. Congrats.
Absolutely.
Oh, 55 years, I think.
55 years. How old are you?
55.
Wow, that's a long slump. You're like the Cal Ripken of slumping.
Yeah, that's me.
Say maybe like a year long.
But you're doing well now. You're on TV, for God's sake. Never
Never
had one
had a slump.
slump?
I don't think so.
Wow, he's
Hope
killing
not.
it.
Let's say about 6 years.
I had an 11-year one time.
Ooh, that's a long one.
Yeah. Her name was Becca.
I remember Becca. She was terrible. Poor Joe. All right. Well, he's married now, so he's happy. Blake Griffin drops a hint that LeBron could end up with the Knicks. He says that he thinks it's more likely than LA. Let me defend him for a second. LeBron doesn't make sense in LA. Lonzo Ball, if he does, reach his potential, does a lot of similar things to LeBron. Julius Randle, kind of a big body. LeBron likes to stretch the floor. Our team stretches the floor. We got Kristaps, we got Frank, which it looks like he could potentially be a 3-and-D guy. Just it looks like it would work better.
This is the most desperate reach I've ever. You're like, no, we have a team that works with LeBron James. Let me tell you something. Every team that's ever been created works with LeBron James. There's never been 4 people in basketball. And anyone holding a round ball in the history of mankind was made better by LeBron James being around there.
LeBron takes us 4 to the 8th seed.
Whoa. LJ's in good shape.
I know.
Yeah,
we're not.
LeBron takes us for it. No, we're not. No, we're not. He's not
Speak
that
for
good.
yourself, Larry.
Where do you see LeBron going if he leaves Cleveland?
New York.
LJ turns pretty quickly.
Yes, he does.
He really
If he
does.
leaves Cleveland, I definitely don't think he should leave Cleveland. I wouldn't want to see him leave Cleveland. But
Just as a fan.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, like it would crush Cleveland, like
Right.
breaking up.
Right.
I once had a girl break up with me, then ask me to take her back, and then break up with me again, and it felt like I was on a plane that landed safely and then died in a car crash home. It's unpleasant.
Who thought that was going to take a dark turn?
Damian Lillard, Dalla. I don't know if it's D-O-L-L-A. Dame Dalla, impressing hip-hop artist. His stuff is pretty good. I saw him on Sway, and I was pretty impressed. His first album was called Letter O, and hopefully for Portland, his second one will be called Letter D. They don't play defense in Portland. Him and Lillard. I'm going to keep explaining that joke until it gets the desired reaction that I'd hoped for. Have you heard his stuff?
I have, and I thought he's pretty good. You know, we were Shaq. You had a couple of guys that's trying this.
Yeah.
I thought Damian, he's not bad, but 12 hours.
Yeah,
Come
12
on,
hours
man.
a day.
You need to get some. Yeah, you're right. You need to be practicing on your defensive skills for 12 hours.
Yeah.
You know, it's not paying you like that. Basketball is paying you like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this a move where like just every team in the Western Conference is just like, look, we're not beating the Warriors. Go ahead and make a rap album. Do whatever you want.
That's how hopeless it's just become at this point. They're like maybe you should just like, as Steph Curry's coming up, just start spitting bars at him. Like, I don't know, try something else.
Try anything.
Nothing we're doing is working. But no, I do agree. I agree that I think in general we've had this association that if a basketball player drops a rap album, it's going to be terrible. And his is actually not bad. But I do agree with you. Look, it takes a lot of hours to be great at something. I don't know if you can pursue being great at more than one thing. And while you're in the NBA making millions of dollars, I'd be upset if you weren't putting full time into that and I was paying you that type of money.
Yeah, apparently McCollum's a DJ. And we're back on People Talking Sports with Liz Gonzalez and another thing.
Yeah. So I've actually been really bothered by the fact that you are really into Blake Bortles. But this weekend I figured it out. It's because you're a comic and he's the joke of the NFL. So naturally,
I like
love.
Blake Bortles because he's a franchise quarterback, and I've seen no evidence to suggest otherwise. I think Blake.
I love a chant.
people like you are the reason that he had his 5th-year option picked up. I don't know who signed off on that, but that's like one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard.
Yeah,
There was a guy
it should have
in
been
the-
10, you're right.
At any rate, so moving on to really depressing news for me personally. So the producers of The Lion King, which is, I guess, getting re-released on DVD later this month, came out and made the statement that, in fact, Scar and Mufasa are not related at all. Why would you tell us that? I don't understand why that's newsworthy. You're just breaking people's hearts. If I was stuck on a desert island and could only take one movie with me, it would be The Lion King. The entire premise of the movie revolves around the fact that they're brothers. And now you're like, oh yeah, no, they're not.
No, another detail came out today. None of them are lions. Shocking.
Wow, I can't
That was
believe.
super disappointing news for me. Have you guys ever really been disappointed by something you truly love?
Well, yeah, I will say when I went to go see The Lion King as a play, I never saw the movie or anything, and then I had no idea, spoiler alert, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Mufasa dies. I
Is killed by his brother.
Yeah, I didn't know that was coming. I was like, oh, this is the star lion of the movie. And then he dies, and everybody else in the theater was just like, going along, and I was like, what? Like, I went crazy.
I don't like how you're trying to be more cultured. Like, guys, I read the book.
Yeah, I don't want to be high and mighty here, but
Well, don't get too attached to the play because they're not related. So you just watched The Lie. You spent like 2 hours watching A Lie.
Are they not related?
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Liz just talked about that for
Are
like
you
2
listening
minutes
to me?
straight.
You just zone out and plan your next segment.
They're not
Something about Blake
brothers.
Bortles. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of disappointing sports stories out there.
It's like when you see a guy, well, I guess for me, not for you guys, but when you see a guy and you're like, oh, he's really cute, and then he comes up to you and he's like this short.
What's that about?
You have a girlfriend. You have a girlfriend. You're doing just fine.
It's just nobody in the world cares about men's feelings. Like, if a man just said the equivalent version of that, they'd be like, you horrible.
They do.
I can't believe
They do.
that.
You guys aren't saying it now, but you do.
I thought you were
That's a
going
good
to say,
point.
like, he comes closer, he's a jerk, or he smells, or is this? No, just short.
Short.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
a tall lady. There aren't a lot of short or tall guys out there.
Well,
That sounds like the world's biggest brag.
Not a brag.
I'm tall. It's hard for me.
And then
I'm
you
also
see-
really fit.
And then you see a tall guy and his lady is like 5 feet tall, and you're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Another great People Talking Sports. Dave, thank you so much for coming by. Check out his special on September 11th, Libertaz. Liz Gonzalez, Anthony DeVito. People Talking Sports. LJ, so great to have him here. He had to leave early, but keep watching, keep telling your friends, keep keeping us on the air. And thank you, Mercedes-Benz.